It was poppin' YouTube. It's your boy Ashton yet again with some high quality content, as you already know. Today we're going to be doing another tier list video. You already know that. Today we're going to be ranking some Led Zeppelin albums today. It's going to be a fun one. I love me some Led Zeppelin. Um, Led Zeppelin, can't go wrong with them. They are definitely OGs for sure. They are legendary. They are extremely influential, even though they kind of ripped off some the blues guys back in the day. But who gives a crap about that? If you know what I mean. Um, Before I get into this, I am going to leave off Coda off this list because this isn't really a Led Zeppelin album because this is mainly um some like other stuff, like stuff left out of things, or it's weird. It's not really a Led Zeppelin album. Just gonna leave it at that. So yeah, we got S, A, B, C, and D. You already know. Let's get right into the juice. First up, we got Led Zeppelin 1. Led Zeppelin 1 is definitely a classic. It's going in the B for me. Solid B tier. Another thing I want to mention, pretty much Led Zeppelin 1, 2, 3, and 4 are essential. All right. You can't go wrong with any of those albums. They are definitely classics for sure. Um, but I believe there are better ones to be placed above um, this one. Uh, this one, not my first up record. I listened to this later on as I started getting into some classic rock. Uh, it was what were the songs on there? It had the all-time classic "Dazed and Confused," "Communication Breakdown," "Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You." You know, there's some absolute bangers on this first one. And who could forget the iconic album cover of the Zeppelin going down in a ball of flames? Only the things that are pulling me back from this album, or just stopping me from ranking it higher, is that this is Zeppelin first starting to get their groove on. It's not really that much originality going in terms of songwriting. The production is kind of wonky, and at times it can feel a bit messy, but is not by any means a bad album. Um, Anything below a C tier, or yeah, anything below C tier or the D tier is garbage category. I would say a C tier is good. B is better. Um, yeah, that's really all I gotta say about Led Zeppelin 1. It's definitely a classic. Many Led Zeppelin fans cite this as one of their favorites. Um, for me, it's not my favorite. My personal favorite Zeppelin record is Led Zeppelin 2, which I'm gonna get right into right now. And this is the first Zeppelin record I actually enjoyed. It was the first one given to me by my dad, and I remember liking it a lot. See, I'm gonna put Led Zeppelin 2 right next to Led Zeppelin 1 because this album came out in the same year as the first one. I think it was only a few months afterwards, and it's still got the same deal kind of going on. Um, I would say more. I think the songwriting. Wait, hold on. Am I recording? Yeah, I'm recording. I Yeah. Anyways, I think there's more originality in terms of the songwriting, and there's better riffs. There's more grooves. Um, I there's some bangers on this one. I think more bangers on the second one than the first one. Who can forget the Ramble On, Heartbreaker, the Lemon Song? Thank you. And who could forget um, the all-time the beast of a drum solo, Moby Dick? Phenomenal. And I forgot to mention John Bonham is probably one of the best drummers of all time. He's probably one of my favorite drummers, or top 10 drummers if I were to make a list. Um, this album really shines, and it's a personal favorite of mine. The only drawbacks, again, kind of like the first record, it's the production's kind of a little bit wonky, and again, this is Zeppelin still getting their groove on. But I wouldn't say it's definitely it's really good. It's not, it's not okay. It's good. It's really good. Um, yeah, that's really all I got to say about Led Zeppelin 2. I actually have this on vinyl. I bought this on vinyl not so long ago because it's my personal favorite. But yeah, fun fact. Moving on. Uh, Led Zeppelin 3. Now this is definitely a step up from 1 and 2. Um, Again, kind of the same thing going on here. It's got some more bangers on this one too. I'm kind of tempted to put it in the B thing, but I'm gonna put it in the A category. Now, Led Zeppelin 3, where to start? This is a big leap in production for sure. It's got definitely more original songwriting in the previous two, excuse me. Um, who could forget the most, probably one of the most iconic rock songs ever, the immigrant song? You know, can't go wrong with that. Gallows Pole's pretty good. Tangerine's a nice little folky song. There's some other good ones on here too, but I just think it's kind of a step up from 1 and 2. That's all pretty much I got to say about it. Yeah, just gonna leave it at that. It's a solid album. Well, it's a solid album and a solid A tier. Um, it's a really good album, I must say. But I don't really think it's better than the one that we're going to be going over right now, which is Led Zeppelin 4 or just Led Zeppelin or they're self-titled, whatever the heck you want to call it. Many people call this Led Zeppelin 4. This is their fourth album in the discography. Now, I think this is an easy S tier for me. Reason being, this whole album is just good. There's not a single bad song on this album. Uh, who can forget the all-time classic "Stairway to Heaven"? See, now I can never get tired of that song, even though it's probably been played to death, like kind of like Chop Suey and Enter Sandman. Like I've said before, like I get tired of those. But "Stairway to Heaven," I don't know why, it just sticks with me. I think it's just an all-time classic. But besides "Stairway to Heaven," there's "Rock and Roll." There's the classic "Black Dog." There's oh man, it's on the tip of my tongue. Oh, why am I drawing a blank? Oh, man. Oh, and who forget? Oh, bro, why did I blank on this? What? When the levee breaks? Levee breaks? Levee breaks? I don't care. What a closer to that album. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Going to California was kind of good. Uh, yeah. It's just an all time classic album. I think this is cited as one of the most influential and probably one of the best rock albums of all time. And I can definitely agree with that. Led Zeppelin really hit their stride on this album. Uh, but yeah, it's an easy S tier for me. That's all I can say. Moving on, we got Houses of the Holy. See now, a lot of people really like Houses of the Holy, and some say that this is the band's best. Me personally, this is when they kind of teetered off the rails a little bit. It's a good album. It's a really good album. I'm gonna put it in the B tier. See, Houses of the Holy. See now with Led Zeppelin 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, this is when they started. Okay, we've kind of been doing the same thing for 4 albums in a row right now. We're gonna change it up a notch, and this is what they did on the House of the Holy. There's a lot of weird ones, but the songs are really good on this one. It's like I think um, the Ocean is a pretty good song. Who could forget No Quarter? Over the Hills and Far Away is a really good one. There's some absolute classics on this album. And some people kind of got kind of weirded out with the old reggae thing they got going on, or some other experimental nonsense they got going. But for me, it's kind of my taste. I actually really like Houses of the Holy, but however, I don't really think it's better than 3 or 4. Let me know what you guys think. I think Heaven, if you're watching this, I think this is your favorite album. I think I've seen you. Or I don't know. I don't even know why I think it is. I think I've seen your French presentation. You put Houses of the Holy on there. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's a solid album, and it's a solid B tier for me. Up next, we got Physical Graffiti. Now, I think all Led Zeppelin fans should know that this is another S tier for me. Well, as for many others too, they probably would put Physical Graffiti and 4 in the S tier, no problem. And I cannot agree with that anymore. Like this is a phenomenal record. Like this is actually, I think this is better than 4, if I'm being totally honest. Um, Even though it's really long, like I don't even mind that. Like I don't even care if it's really long. All of the songs on here are really really good. And this is Led Zeppelin really coming into their own. Like this is Led Zeppelin at its most original and its most um, raw. I must say, and it's probably got one of the most produced rock songs of all time. Kashmir, can't go wrong with that. In My Time of Dying was pretty good. Bring Your Stomp was also pretty good. Um, Man, what other songs on there? Houses of the Holy was pretty good, even though that's a song. Okay, not to confuse you with the album. Trampled Underfoot was pretty good. 10 Years Gone was just a lot of good songs with 80 minutes worth of material. What did just happen? I don't know what just fell down. It's a phenomenal album from front to back. It's really good, and I would say it's an easy S tier for me. Can't go wrong with Physical Graffiti. Although not my favorite, Led Zeppelin 2 would probably remain my personal favorite of mine. Physical Graffiti, easy S tier for me. And then we're going to get to the two lesser known Led Zeppelin albums. Now these two albums, they're not they're not this they're not really particularly known by many fans as like, oh, Led Zeppelin, like, oh, this is when they really fell off the rails a little bit. Like this is their peak, and this is where they're gonna fall off the road. But these aren't bad albums. All right, fun fact: I'm not gonna put any album in the B tier. This is going in the C tier for me. Wait, hold on. Kitty, come here. Oh, my cat just walked in. Come here. Yeah, kitty, come here. I shouldn't be doing that. Anyways, what was I doing? C tier, Presence. It's going in the C tier. This album was kind of weird for me. I don't listen to this as nearly as much as I listen to these classics right here. Mainly reason being, I don't really even care. Um, the only thing I know about this album is that Robert Plant, or one of the band members, I think it was Robert Plant, he got in a car accident or something, and he was strapped down to a wheelchair, and they decided to just put out an album. But I don't want to say there's really not much going on right here with this album. I mean, I think the only two, there's like one good song I actually really, and it's like the opener. It's Achilles' Last Stand. Pretty good one, I must say. But yeah, um, definitely wouldn't rank it higher than these guys. That's for sure. So it's going in the C tier. And Through the Outdoor, same thing. Um, I really have nothing much to say about this album. Again, I've only listened to this like 2 or 3 times, like Presence. Not very memorable for me. Here, let me actually pull it up. And Through the Outdoor. Yeah, this is when they kind of like they got a little bit more mainstream, more poppy. I can't really list This song came out in 1979. So I don't even know about it really. Call me uncultured. Call it what you want. Just not my kind of album. Same thing with Presents. Just not my thing. And Coda, again, I already said in the beginning I'm going to leave it out. But yeah, there you have it, folks. That is my Led Zeppelin tier list. Let me know what you guys think. I think this is a solid tier list if I'm being really honest with you. But yeah. Hope y'all have a good night. I'm probably gonna make another one shortly after. I gotta make an I gotta finish my application process for Walmart. I think I'm finally gonna quit Big City. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Peace out.